Welcome back, guys. So right now, let's talk about the conversions of comic books. What do I mean? So right now, I want to talk about how to structure a comic book and everything that comes with you creating a comic book. So right now, we are going to talk about the different conversions of comic books, including both structural and stylistic elements that makes up a comic book. So we're going to explain this conversion, how it can be used for particular effects or purposes. So we're going to look into that one by one. As you could see from here, there are many different ways of storytelling, some of which are what we call multimodal. That is, they combine at least two different modes of communication. Comic books are one type of multimodal text that has become extremely popular in contemporary society. These works use both text and images to tell a story in an engaging way. So whether you are a fan of superheroes, fantasy adventures, or slice of life tales, there is something for anyone in the realm of comics. So I want to show you how to create comic books, of course. If you don't know the example of comic books, I'm going to show you some examples of comic books so you get to understand what it looks like. So right now, we've talked about the whole idea behind you creating a comic book, how it is a multimodal form of creating stories. So we're going to talk about the building blocks of comics, which you should pay attention to very well. So now paying attention to this now, you get to see we have panels. Yes. So a panel is an individual frame that consists of a single image depicting one moment that is sometimes accompanied by text. Most pages of comic books will contain multiple panels, and these panels can be used or can be seen in different shapes and sizes, which can contribute to meaning. When we read a page of a comic book, we read the panels in order from left to right and from top to bottom. I'm going to show you what a panel is and how you could create a panel, of course. So now the next thing you should know aside from panels are frames. So frames are the borders that go around the panel. So each panel comes with a frame. It's more like a border or an outline if you are used to design. So this, as you could see from something like this, a panel could be something like this, and the frame comes right here, which is the border. And as you could see, you say they are traditionally rectangular in shape. Some comic novelists might use different lines, shapes, and sizes for various effects. This might be to convey mood, jagged or wavy lines, signify a dream, cloud-shaped lines, or to signify a change in time or location, an abnormal shaped panel. So we have panels, we have frames, we know what that means already. I'll show you practically. And the next thing you want to look into are gutters. If you are used to design, of course, you know what gutters are. Gutters are spaces between frame. So frame and panel comes together. A panel comes as the whole page of a particular storyline. Then you have a border, which could be the black outline around your panel. Then the gutter comes between panels. When you have the first panel, you have a gutter before the next panel. So the gutter is the space between the framed panels. As readers, we naturally fill in these spaces by mentally linking the panels and joining each moment to the story together. So those are gutters. Then we're going to have what we call splash and bleed. These are all design terms. If you don't know them, it's because you are not used to designs. But now we have splash, a panel that stretches along the whole width of the page or that takes up a whole page. They are used to introduce or highlight a significant scene, character, or dramatic moment. So this, for instance, is a splash. Panel might be divided. So when you see the structure of a comic book, you could see something that stretches this way. That's a splash. Then you could see this is a panel, this is a panel, and this is a gutter in between. Then the black border or outline around these are frames. Then we have bleed. So when the artwork doesn't have a border and extend beyond the page, the edges of the page, they create a sense of expansiveness, making the scene feel more immersive and dynamic. So bleed are these are bleed, but some cases they might not be bleed. So that is bleed for you. That is just the structural component of creating a comic book. So we have different shot type. When discussing framing, we can use the same language as film to refer to an image as a close-up, mid shots or long shots depending on how the content is framed. So we have close-up shots which shows the subject's head, and that would take up most of the panel. It is used to reveal emotion through facial expression. We have the mid shot. A subject is seen from the waist up. It shows emotion through facial expression as well as body language. Then we have the long shots which shows the entire body as seen as well as some of the setting. It shows the emotion through posture and gesture. So we have different shot types: close-up shots, mid shots, long shots. We've seen it all, and we're going to see how to embed that into our creation. So we have narration box. I pretended to act shocked about the message. So here is a narration box, which is the caption. So a rectangular or square text box that appears within a panel, usually at the top or bottom, to provide additional information to the reader. These boxes might convey background details, context, or exposition that helps the reader understand the story, inner monologues, or thoughts of a character, distinguished from spoken dialogue, which typically appears in speech balloons. Details about the setting include time and place, e.g., meanwhile, or 3 days later. So this something like this are always narration box or caption box. So we're going to have that in our comic design. So aside from that, we have speech bubbles, which is the most important. Speech bubbles are rounded or oval shaped, as you've seen right here. Bubbles with a tail of pointer that contain characters spoken dialogue. They are used to visually represent conversations and verbal interactions between characters. Different styles of speech bubbles can help convey tone, emotion, volume in the dialogue. Let's look at some of them. So we have different speech bubbles, of course, that we want to look into. So you could see thought bubbles are like this. Then we have screen bubbles are like this with different shapes. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So we have the thought bubble being this shape, then the screen bubble being this way, then the whisper bubble being this way. This may have touch or wavy lines to indicate quieter speech. Then you have the icicle bubbles. They have icicles hanging from the bottom and can be used to depict an icy or austere tone. So we have all these speech bubbles, and we are going to see how to embed them into our creation. So we have to talk about the stylistic features of comics. So what are the stylistic features of comics? So we're going to see the lightning and color. Lightning and color may be used to show different moods. For example, a bright color and light are often used to show a sense of fun and happiness, while dark colors and dim lighting may be used to show gloom and sadness or to create tension or suspense. Colors may also have specific association. For example, red might communicate ideas of violence, danger, or romance depending on how it's used to be. So we have lightning and color, and now we have onomatopoeia. Yes, this is one of the styles. So onomatopoeia is common in comic books. So you have onomatopoeia is the formation of a word to imitate the natural sound of something associated with it. These are used in comic books to represent sounds through graphical works, so, through graphical words. So you have crack, you have slap, you have gra, you have bang, you have oh my god, you have kapo, you have boom, you have crash, you have splash. So these are onomatopoeia. They are the word meaning to a sound, something like that, like the spelling of a sound, like I have shown you beep, like when a machine beeps. Yes, so we have all these right now, and we're going to talk about you using onomatopoeia in your settings. So now we have settings, which refers to the time and place in which the story occurs. It actually helps to convey mood or atmosphere. It might be depicted through visual elements such as background or color, and written elements such as narration or onomatopoeia. Consider the ideas or association we have with certain places and how the settings helps to drive the story. So we have the settings as well. And another thing we are definitely looking to is emanata. Emanata refers to the graphic symbol and lines that are used to convey a character's emotion, states of mind, or other abstract concepts that are not easily depicted visually. These visual cues are drawn near or around the character to provide readers with additional information about their inner experiences or reaction. Let's look at some common types of emanata. So we're going to look into the common types of emanata. And here we have sweat or teardrops, we have light bulbs, we have love hearts. So we have these different emanatas, and there we are. So the final thing we want to look into are body languages, facial expression, gesture, gaze, posture. So basically, that's all there is to you creating a comic book. But we're going to see how to practicalize that in the next lesson. I hope to see you in the next lesson. See you there.